Jake needs these guys. Jake needs Tyson and needs all these other people, because that you know, everybody's going to tune in to hope that Mike Tyson knocks him out.
Right.
They're not tuning in because they think Jake Paul's a great fighter and they want to see him compete.
Jake Paul faced harsh criticism from Dana White after his disastrous bout with Mike Tyson. White, never one to mince words, labeled the fight an unbalanced mismatch, questioning its legitimacy from the start. Many fans found satisfaction in White's bold take, as the event left a sour taste, exposing glaring flaws in the spectacle-driven approach to boxing.
Mike's 58 years old. You know what I mean?
Right.
I hate doing this because Mike gets mad at me every time I do this, but Mike shouldn't be fighting.
Dana White had been shouting that this fight was a disaster in the making, but did we listen? Of course not. The excitement of seeing Mike Tyson back in the ring had us blinded by nostalgia. Now we're stuck eating humble pie, finally admitting how wrong we were to ignore the obvious warning signs.
Actually his age, and was actually a boxer, and was actually his size, he lost.
Don't worry, UFC's fearless boss is finally giving Jake Paul a brutal reality check. It's about time the so-called YouTuber-turned-boxer faced some well-deserved criticism for his missteps.
100%. Fight guys that box for a living and guys that are your age. How about that?
He says he wants to fight Canelo. I'm just saying what he. That's what
I
he.
hear you. Then why is he not fighting Canelo?
The most laughable thing after this match was Jake Paul mentioning a potential fight with Canelo Alvarez. Seriously, Canelo wouldn't waste 30 seconds on him, and why should he? While Canelo takes on real contenders, Jake sticks to Butterbean's old playbook, facing opponents either too old or too irrelevant. According to Dana White, Jake isn't building a legitimate boxing career. He's running a circus. Even if the Tyson fight happens, it won't change that. Jake's spectacle relies more on gimmicks than true competition, and everyone sees
He was actually his age, and was actually a boxer, and was actually his size, he lost.
Dana White didn't hold back on Jake Paul's claims of making massive money. He pointed out that if Paul were the cash cow he claims, Showtime Boxing wouldn't have folded. But hey, why let facts ruin a flashy Instagram flex?
Mike Tyson was right, and I was wrong. You know, when you guys know the whole story about Shark Week, and you know, if you don't, I begged him not to do the Roy Jones fight. You're too old. I love you. I don't want to see you take any more punishment. So I set him up on Shark Week. He got paid good money, and he's like, you. So he almost flipped out the last day and was ready to kill everybody on the boat because he had to jump in with all these sharks.
Dana White did what few can. He admitted he was wrong. Years ago, he begged Mike Tyson not to fight Roy Jones Jr., fearing the legendary boxer would get hurt. "You're too old, Mike. I don't want to see you take punishment," Dana told him. But Tyson wasn't interested in advice. He wanted challenges. Sharks, to be exact. To keep him out of the ring, Dana set him up on Shark Week *. Big mistake. Mid-dive with apex predators, Tyson was ready to strangle everyone on the boat. Apparently, swooning with sharks wasn't the retirement thrill he had in mind. Now almost 60, Tyson decided to fight Jake Paul, prompting Dana to roll his eyes. Ever the showman, Tyson clapped back. "You really think this kid can do anything to me?" Turns out, Mike was right. Despite his big talk and massive platform, Jake Paul looked like a schoolboy sparring with a principal. Tyson remains the undisputed showstopper.
Honestly think the kid's gonna do anything to me? He's not good. He's not gonna me out. He's not gonna do this. And you saw him. He tripped when he was walking down the thing. He had a hard time walking up the stairs. He had a knee brace on. And Jake Paul couldn't do anything to him.
Mike Tyson could barely walk to the ring. He tripped on his way out, needed a knee brace to climb the stairs, and still managed to make Jake Paul look like an amateur. Dana's words were as cutting as Tyson's jabs. Jake Paul couldn't do anything to him. Nothing. The guy is 57. And he embarrassed him, of course. Social media had its fair share of opinions. Some called the fight the greatest con job of all time, Dana, dripping with sarcasm, offered his take. What did you expect a 60-year-old Mike Tyson to go 12 rounds like it's 1988? Or Jake Paul to suddenly become the next Muhammad Ali? Please, the fight, streamed for free on Netflix, became a talking point for fans and critics alike. Dana pointed out the obvious: you stayed home, turned on Netflix, and what thought you were about to witness the greatest live sporting event of all time. Give me a break, you got exactly what you signed up for, a 57-year-old icon humiliating an influencer who can't punch his way out of a paper.
Because Mike gets mad at me every time I do this, but Mike shouldn't be fighting.
I mean, because you look at Jake Paul, he fought Tyron Woodley, slept him, Anderson Silva, I think he fought Nate. Is there, I mean, if he wants to do boxing, why not fight guys that actually box for a living?
According to Dana White, Mike Tyson shouldn't even be fighting, and the reasoning makes sense. Jake Paul, despite his antics, has built his reputation by knocking out retired MMA stars like Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva, and Nate Diaz. Sure, they're legends, but they're not boxers. Dana had a genius suggestion. Maybe Jake should fight actual boxers, people who box for a living. Shocking idea, right? And here's a twist. How about fighting someone his own age for once? But no, Jake's busy tossing out names like Canelo Alvarez, which Dana finds downright hilarious. Why would Jake even bother? And why would Canelo waste his time? Dana can't fathom it. Canelo would annihilate Jake in 30 seconds and make far more money fighting credible opponents without risking his reputation. This fight was supposed to prove Jake's worth as a serious contender. Instead, it exposed him. Dana didn't hold back. The kid's not a boxer. He's a content creator stepping into the ring, hoping no one notices he's out of his depth. Tyson toyed with him, and Jake still couldn't land a decent shot. If that's what Jake considers a fight, maybe he should stick to YouTube.
I didn't like that.
And Jake Paul couldn't do anything to him. He made a ton of money, and I know people are mad. You stayed home on Saturday night, but you didn't pay for it. You know, this is what Mike Tyson, when Mike Tyson shows up.
Dana White weighed in on the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson spectacle. Tyson, nearly 60, decided to take on the YouTube star, and Dana assumed Jake would get demolished. Tyson, on the other hand, confidently shrugged it off. He's not doing a thing to me. Spoiler alert, he was right. Jake Paul couldn't lay a glove on him. Sure, Tyson stumbled a bit, but he still walked away with a hefty payday, while everyone else stayed home, watching and complaining. The fight proved Tyson's instincts and Dana's skepticism spot on.
Logan Paul, after the fight, people been coming at him. They felt it was disrespectful of him. The way he was like, Mike, I will kill you! I actually was surprised he said that. I really was. I was like, healthy. Okay, whatever.
Let's talk about Logan Paul. After the fight, he faced backlash for boldly claiming he'd kill Mike Tyson. Bold words, Logan, real bold. Even Dana White seemed unfazed, shrugging it off with, well, that's Logan for you. But then there's the bigger story. Tyson nearly died from an ulcer before the fight. Yes, he's out here surviving life-threatening conditions, and people still expect him to perform like he's 25. Makes total sense, right? Of course, conspiracy theorists chimed in, claiming the fight was fixed. But hold on, there's footage of Tyson hitting pads before the ulcer, looking fast and explosive. Afterward, not so much. He went from beast mode to barely standing. Shocking, I know. Who'd guess almost dying might impact performance? But sure, let's call it a fix, because why not?
Love Mike Tyson, you know, personally as a friend, and he's one of my favorite athletes of all time. I don't know, let's see what he can go in there and put together a training camp and come in, and, you know, I don't like to see guys fighting it.
Dana White adores Mike Tyson, his buddy, his favorite athlete, his spirit animal, whatever you want to call it. But even Dana isn't on board with throwing a nearly 60-year-old Tyson into the ring with Jake Paul. A 31-year age gap? Totally fair fight, Right. Classic combat sports matchmaking at its finest. Now let's talk about Netflix, because Dana's got opinions. The streaming giant has finally dipped into live sports, and Dana's baffled it took them this long. But here's where Dana starts making connections no one asked for. Asterisk Reacher Asterisk is on demand. You can watch it anytime. It's magical, but live sports? Nope. You had to watch that fight live because, heaven forbid, you missed Jake Paul awkwardly jabbing at a man old enough to score senior discounts. Some things are just better left unwatched.
A 31-year age difference during that fight. Just, you guys know what I think of that stuff.
Dana White firmly believes live events are the future. As streaming platforms grow, he says, they'll have no choice but to embrace live sports. Bold prediction, Dana, truly groundbreaking stuff. And of course, what's a Dana White interview without a subtle humble brag? He casually mentions his own TV deal is coming up, as if we didn't already know. Netflix, Amazon, maybe even the Weather Channel. Dana's ready to talk to everyone. If a platform exists, you can bet Dana's sliding into their inbox. Why? Because like sports are king, and Dana wants everyone to remember he's the mastermind behind turning live fights into must-watch TV. Nobody sells the future of sports like Dana White.
People can fight real guys and keep his credibility intact and still make that kind of money. You know what I mean? Jake needs these guys. Jake needs Tyson and needs all these other people because everybody's going to tune in.
Jake Paul thrives on the spectacle. He needs the circus. The Mike Tysons of the world, the over-the-hill legends. People tune in not because they see Jake as a future champ, but because they're hoping someone will finally knock him out. Dana White even compares Jake to Butterbean. Remember him? The guy who fought nobodies until the gimmick wore thin. Same playbook. Dana predicts that if Jake ever faces a real defeat, the whole act crumbles, and the novelty vanishes faster than his so-called boxing credentials. The truth: Jake Paul is a marketing genius, not a legitimate boxer. Mike Tyson, for his part, should probably stay retired. And Dana, he's just here shaking his head at the absurdity of it all. Classic Mike Tyson. He steps in, and people can't stop talking.
Tyson, people talk to. There's certain people that are just crazy, man.
Well, these people that think that he don't stand a chance against Jake Paul, they're like, this shouldn't even, because he's too old. I was like, I think you're crazy.
Well, they're definitely uninformed.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: he is 57 years old. He will be 58 when they fight. He has had a long fighting career. He has been knocked out by massive men like Lennox Lewis and Evander Holyfield. He's had a lot of blows. And he's also doing this very unique kind of training with...
Joe Rogan, the voice of modern combat sports, didn't hold back when discussing the spectacle of Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul on his podcast. Rogan reflected on the surreal nature of a 58-year-old Tyson stepping into the ring with a YouTuber turned boxer. While he acknowledged Jake's youthful energy and improving skills, Rogan couldn't overlook Tyson's diminished speed and power. Mike still has that head movement, Rogan noted, but the punches aren't what they used to be. In the end, Rogan summed it up. Jake may have claimed the win, but it wasn't the unstoppable Mike Tyson fans remember and revere. The legend's aura remains, but time spares no one.